You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, and it is, of course, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams over the course of 7 years. Thank goodness, because it enabled me to have a bunch of gigs in the media, which I love, call NFL and college games for CBS. I'll be doing Army-Navy Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time on the radio for Westwood One. Love that game. One of my favorite days of the year, if not the favorite day of the year. Tuesday's a big day at the Ross Tucker Podcast Factory because it's Power Rankings Tuesday, which means I let you know exactly where I think every team in the NFL stands. And then we got the Even Money Betting Podcast, which is extremely popular. And, devastating loss last night from the Jaguars for the Even Money Betting Podcast is concerned. But an incredible football game, which we will get to momentarily. We will have new winners this week, whether you're the Spread the Word winner via social media, which I'm a big fan of. Somehow you do something on social media. Really easy. I love the Spotify Wrapped. If any of you guys listen to the show on Spotify and you can send that to us, ross@rosstucker.com, that's amazing. You can even do the thing where you tweet it at us, at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod. That is very cool. Taking advantage of the sponsors. Never goes out of style. Babbel, ExpressVPN, Raycon, Game Time, and then the YouTube shout out is fun. I did a couple of them last night, actually. Just make sure if you're the winner, you email me with who you want me to do the video for. I record it on my phone. I email it to you. YouTube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. You just got to subscribe and make any comment. Love shout outs to people like Scott Swanner, the latest member of our Tuckheads family at patreon.com/RT Media. I was on there yesterday talking about Florida State and Alabama and chiming in with the guys and gals on that over at patreon.com/RT Media. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross. I, too, also had a bad loss in betting, but we entered the brown inning last night. Cincinnati wins in overtime 34-31, but Trevor Lawrence did exit early with an ankle injury.
The what inning?
I was trying to make a play on the happening. I initially was hoping the Patriots win so I could use the zappening. So we had said have the Browning inning.
What's the happening?
It's like a really bad horror movie from 2008, like Mark Wahlberg.
Really
it's
bad
something's
horror
outside
movie.
And they don't know what it is and they're trying to
All
go
right.
to safety. It's It
well,
wasn't really much about the movie, more just the play on words.
Got it. Yeah, that was pretty bad. But I am appreciative of dad joke. I'm appreciative of the effort, I would say, Jack. Here's how I feel about stuff like that. It would either be really good and I would laugh, or it's really bad and I kind of smile. But either way, that attempt gave me look, it's 6:47 a.m., man. I'm here for it. I'm here for a smile. So, boy, I have a lot to say, I feel like, about this game. Let me start with this. And you guys know how I feel about stuff like this. I'm so happy. I mean, so happy for Jake Browning. You know, you don't get very many opportunities. Now, the good news for him is, I guess, Burrow's out for the year. So it looks like Browning will get, the rest of the season to show what he can do. But man, a Monday night game on the road against an 8-3 team, and he gets his first win, I should say. He started last week, but his first win in a long, long time. Really, really happy for Browning that he went out there and played that well. You guys know anytime any backup gets out there, because I've been there, I want them to play at a really high level and establish themselves as at least guys that deserve to be in the league for a while and make a good living doing this, but also, hopefully say, maybe I should start somewhere. I will say this too. They did an unbelievable job. They, meaning the offensive coaching staff for the Bengals. Callahan, obviously Zach Taylor, unbelievable job getting him in a good position to succeed. I mean, early in the game, ball out quick, getting the ball right out to Jamar Chase. They actually, kudos to the Bengals offensive line. They ran it pretty well with Joe Mixon, who still is just a warrior when he runs the football. And Chase Brown did some really good things as well in the run game. But it was primarily Jake Browning's night. I mean, you probably have the stats in front of you, Jack, but he was like, it was over 300 yards, no interceptions, no turnovers. Honestly, the only thing that really slowed the Bengals offense down was when they had their wide receivers attempt to throw the ball. I mean, Chase lost 7 yards. Tyler Boyd threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen right to Josh Allen. And the Bengals pulled out a big win for them to stay in the mix and kind of give, I guess, their fans and their team some hope for the rest of the year. It's probably still a long shot, but at least keeps them in the mix. Meanwhile, for the Jags, really, really bad loss. Let me point out a couple other things for the Bengals. One is that they just jump out to me, right? Jamar Chase had a fantastic game and showed that it's not just a Burrow thing. He can make a bunch of plays and really play well no matter who the quarterback is. They rode him and he delivered. But then also, for the Jaguars, there's a lot of things to get into. One is it's just a terrible loss. I mean, I think by game time, they might have been 10-point favorites. You're playing at home against a backup quarterback. You cannot let him light you up like that. Was not good enough defensively by the Jags. To make matters worse, they lost receiver Christian Kirk early in the game. They lost their nickel corner Trey Herndon early in the game. Then, later in the game, they were in a dogfight the whole game regardless. I mean, they were in a dogfight, and they were fortunate probably to even be in it. I mean, you think about the touchdown catch by Parker Washington, the 6th-round rookie from Penn State, who made several big plays for them, including that this miraculous touchdown at the back of the end zone that if you didn't see, I encourage you guys to check out. He made a nice play there. Obviously, they had Josh Allen, had some sacks, and had that interception off of Boyd. But they were probably fortunate to be in it. But then late in the game, it all kind of went bad for them. I mean, they were up by a touchdown. And then even after the Bengals tied it, Lawrence took them back down the field. Lawrence got stepped on by a big left tackle. And just the angle of it, all of his weight went into the side of Lawrence's leg. And Lawrence kind of buckled with the sprained ankle like that. Now, looking at Dr. Chow, Pro Football Doc, and reading what he wrote right away at sportsinjurycentral.com, which is why I think that site is invaluable, right? Like just to be able to get that information immediately. He just said it's a regular sprained ankle, not even a high ankle sprain, and that there's even a chance he could play next week. So it looked bad, but it doesn't sound like it's as bad as it looked initially. Still don't understand why Trevor Lawrence wanted to hobble all the way back to the locker room. That was weird. But then after that happened, McManus misses a 48-yard field goal for the Jags. So then it stays tied. Then Bengals go down. McPherson hits a 54-yarder. But then kudos to the Jags. They actually come all the way back down again with C.J. Beathard, another backup quarterback that I thought acquitted himself pretty well. I thought they were going to score a touchdown. And I also thought that was very questionable holding on Anton Harrison. Did not like the holding on Anton Harrison on the deep throw to Calvin Ridley by Beathard because I thought Harrison let go in time. But anyway, they call the hold. The Jaguars end up kicking a field goal to tie it, goes to overtime, and in overtime, the Bengals win it. McPherson hits another field goal. Kudos to them. Kudos to a lot of people that made a lot of plays in that game. By the way, it's that time of year. It's that time of year where it's like all classic Christmas movies on TV. Televised Thanksgiving parades. Some people really into that. Some people aren't. And I've told you guys about this before. ExpressVPN is an app that lets you change your online location. So you can change your IP address. And if you do that, there's additional offerings available on Netflix and Disney Plus, YouTube, BBC iPlayer, pretty much all streaming services. So like my wife, she's really into The Office. So she goes back and she watches The Office on UK Netflix. So basically, you can just change your location like I do on my phone or my computer to anywhere, like the UK, and watch The Office. I've tried other VPNs in the past. I know other people probably have as well. Super slow. That's why ExpressVPN is awesome. No buffering, no lag. So if you're sick of all the cheesy shows on Netflix this holiday season, gift yourself a brand new library of content. Go to expressvpn.com/Tucker right now, and you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/Tucker, expressvpn.com/Tucker to learn more.
It's time for the all-important Power Rankings. The worst team in the history of the NFL is...
All right, Ross. 32nd. Shocker, Carolina Panthers.
I actually thought about moving them ahead of the Patriots. They looked okay. They did some decent things against the Bucs. Hubbard did some good things running the football. But I don't know. I guess I still feel like if they played the Patriots 7 times, the Patriots would win 4 in my backyard, but I'm not sure. As a reminder, that is how I do my power rankings.
31st is Patriots.
Jack, I might even write about this at some point. The Patriots are like so bad now that maybe Belichick can convince Kraft, hey, all I need is a quarterback. Let me draft Caleb Williams or Drake May with the 2nd pick, and I can get this thing going again. Or maybe they're just so bad that Kraft won't be able to trade Belichick. He'll have to just fire him, and Belichick can take a year off and get the money, or Belichick can be a free agent and pick which team he wants to go to. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts going through my head now that the Patriots are this bad, quote unquote, this bad.
Another AFC East team, the Jets. 30.
Jets, Jets. Yeah, I think I'm going to make this, Jack, actually, my Labatt take of the week. I wasn't even gonna, but I need to do this. I need to say this, okay? It's presented by Labatt Blue Light, the pristine Canadian Pilsner. Enjoy your beers together so you can live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. There are multiple Zach Wilson reports out there. Number one was that the Jets want to go back to him as a starting quarterback, but he's hesitant to do so. Okay, that's one reporter. Robert Saleh says Zach Wilson wants the ball. Okay. But then there's another reporter, a different one, that said Aaron Rodgers talked to Zach Wilson to try to convince him to play again, but Wilson expressed some hesitancy because of potential injury. Let me just tell you right now, guys, it's over for Zach Wilson. It's over for him as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He was already going to be very questionable to ever start another game. Now I would be very surprised. Forget the Jets the rest of this year, but moving forward with another franchise, very surprised if Zach Wilson ever gets a chance to start again. Perception is reality. There were already major concerns about him, and now there's multiple reports that he could have a chance to start, and he doesn't want it, or isn't sure if he wants it. That's like a cardinal sin, and that's probably it for Zach Wilson.
29th, Washington Commanders.
Boy, they're going the wrong way. You know, we're at that stage of the career of the year, Jack, where certain teams kind of know that their coach is getting fired, and it's like they play like it. You know, it's like they play like they know there's going to be change and whatever. It's not good.
28th, Arizona Cardinals.
Moving up. I only moved them up 2 spots. I didn't want to overreact because that was to quote Steelers fans, that was the Tomlin special on Sunday. But that was a nice all-around performance by Arizona. They deserve a bunch of credit for it.
27th is the Bears.
Duh, Bears, duh, Bears, duh, Bears, duh, Bears. So listen, Bears coming off that win against the Vikings. The rest of the season, critically important for Matt Eberflus, Justin Fields. I was on the radio in Chicago yesterday. That's all that matters for the rest of this year. The rest of this year is whether or not Eberflus gets one more year, whether or not Fields is the guy at quarterback, or they use the Panthers' number 1 pick on a new quarterback.
26 is Giants.
The G-Men. Boy, some of these teams, when they have these late season buys, it feels like they haven't played in forever. I don't have much to say about them other than Tommy DeVito.
25th is Titans.
Titans, that's a brutal, brutal game for them to lose. So brutal that they fired their special teams coordinator, Craig Aukerman, and that's what happens. You can't be the reason why your team loses the game. The special teams was clearly the reason why they lost the game. Punter has to have season-ending surgery. Just a debacle all around in that regard.
24th is the Bucks.
The Bucks stops here with their rankings. They're in purgatory this year. They're gonna be smack dab in the middle. They're not bad. They're not going to the playoffs, I don't think. And then they'll have decisions to make about their head coach and their quarterback. That's where we're living right here, Jack.
23rd is the Chargers.
Go, Chargers, go. I guess they're still hanging in the mix. Just feel like there's a lot of teams ahead of them, and it still wasn't a very impressive performance.
22nd is New Orleans Saints.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in, oh, when the Saints come marching in. I don't know if Carr's going to be able to play this week. The Saints, not a good performance. This is probably it for Dennis Allen this year too. They don't win that division because that's such a winnable division. He had to win it.
21st is Cincinnati Bengals.
Way higher than I thought they'd be. But Browning gave them some life. Browning gave them some hope last night.
20th is the Vikings.
Jack, that's not how we say it.
The Minnesota
Vikings. Hey, Minnesota Vikings. They're still firmly in the mix. I think they might be in the playoffs right now, or they're at least like right there near the playoff picture. But they gotta get back to the way they were playing before these last 2 games. In particular, Dobbs before that last game.
19th is the Raiders.
The Raiders. Coming off a bye, not much to say.
18th is Falcons.
Boy, they have been fortunate in terms of their schedule. When's the last time they played even like a halfway decent team? They have played a bunch, it seems like, of bad teams in a row. I'm not mad at them, though. Go ahead, get your win, and order on DoorDash. It's that time. Pizza cravings at halftime, ordering time. Dreaming about tacos during a timeout? Boom, they're on your doorstep. You want burgers, chips, dips, drinks, and wings instead? Even better. Order on DoorDash and get everything you want delivered without missing a minute of the game. Jack, you got to have something to wash it down. Wash it down with my favorite Labatt Blue Lights. Live life to the power of we. Delicious. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
17th is the Browns.
Yeah, I guess they dropped several spots. I think that was more because there was teams below them that I felt like deserved to move up, like the Colts, Rams, and Packers. Plus, the Browns' defense disappointed me.
16th is the Steelers.
Well, and they dropped more than they normally would because of the Pickett injury as well. You know, Pickett had played well the week before in the first game without Canada. I'm not as confident about Trubisky.
15th is the Colts.
I think they've won like 3 in a row. Minshew's doing enough to win. They got a Coach of the Year candidate in Steichen. They deserve to move up. No, they've won 4 in a row.
14th is Seahawks.
That was a rough loss to the Cowboys, man. That was a big one for them. And the schedule, they lost some games they had to win. The Rams game, I mean, now they got the Niners, they got the Eagles. Doesn't really get easier for them.
13th is the Packers.
Dun, 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 dun. Go, Pack, go. Shh. Dun, 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 dun. You guys know how I feel about them. They are on the rise.
12th is the Rams.
Rams are the team I'm riding with this week, Jack. I'm pretty impressed by them lately. Brought to you by Wrangler, made for the ride of life. Save 15% on your first Wrangler.com order with promo code ROSS15. We are seeing some coaching right now in the NFL. You know, teams get better or they get worse. Think about how the Colts are playing, winning 4 in a row. Think about how the Packers are playing. And then think about the Rams. How many guys on the Rams team can you name right now? Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, maybe Kyron Williams, maybe Higbee, definitely Aaron Donald. That's it. That's all the players on their team that you know, and they still have won several games in a row, and they're right there in the playoff mix.
11th is Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I only dropped them 1 spot behind the Texans because that was kind of a back-and-forth affair.
10th is the Texans.
They're finding a way, man. You know, this time they did it with a lot of defense, Jack, which was really impressive, right? It was that side of the ball. It wasn't just Stroud being the hero.
9th is Buffalo Bills.
Bills had a bye, not much to say. They needed it.
8th is Jaguars.
Dropped them a couple spots, not just because of the loss, but their defense didn't play well. And Lawrence, even if he plays on Sunday, he'll be hobbled.
7th is Detroit Lions.
Boy, they needed that win in the worst way. They bounced back in a major way on offense from the Thanksgiving Day game, but their defense still missing a little something there, Jack.
6th, Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, the number 1 seed right now. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC. I haven't checked their schedule, but that'd be quite a feat for them.
5th, Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys? Boy, that's going to be another epic game Sunday night. Cowboys, Eagles, a lot on the line. The Eagles can essentially cement the NFC East. The Cowboys could make it real interesting.
4th is Baltimore Ravens.
Not much to say for the Ravens. They had a bye. Still curious to see where Zach Ertz lands. Interesting that he hasn't signed anywhere yet.
3rd is the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, I didn't drop them. Even after that loss in Green Bay, I thought about it. But then, you know, they didn't play great. I give the Packers credit. But in a series of 7 games, I still kind of feel like the Chiefs would beat the Ravens, beat the Cowboys, beat the Dolphins right now, beat the Lions. Maybe I'm wrong, but wasn't their best performance. But I didn't think it was droppable. I didn't think it was drop worthy. And I didn't see enough from the Cowboys barely beating the Seahawks or the Ravens bye to drop them.
2nd, Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles. Yeah, they got blown out. It's a one game thing. I picked them to lose the game. I kind of thought they were due for a loss. Kind of thought that would happen. It happened. No big deal. They can't allow 1 bad loss, though, to be 2, right? Like, they can't allow that to be a factor. Big news for them signing Shaq Leonard yesterday. Talked about it in an emergency Ross report, that 1-minute social clip thing that I do, talking Eagles, since I do so much Eagles stuff in Philly. And, I don't think Shaq Leonard is going to be all-pro Shaq Leonard, but he might be better than the guys the Eagles have right now.
Ross's number 1 team, which is totally meaningless, but it's fun and will get many of you incredibly annoyed, is...
And first is the San Francisco 49ers.
They're back, baby. They are back on top, and they earned it, right? They've won several games in a row. Again, Purdy's playing lights out football. They've won 4 in a row. They just smashed my number one team, the Eagles. The Niners right now are the best team in pro football. Other than that, make sure you check out Even Money. Good guest tomorrow, Booger McFarland. I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. Are some of you really not going ahead and at least seeing what these amazing gifts would be like for your mom, your dad, your wife, any loved one, maybe a colleague, maybe a boss? It'd be a cool boss gift. Myfrontpagestory.com, all about how great of a boss they are. People don't know what to get their boss. Backofficescheduler.com, go-bengals.com, big day for you guys. SteakhouseSports.com, HumanHeadNYC.com, Sporticulture, and Pizza Boy Brewing.